another. So those are the key things that all living things have as a characteristic. But even going beyond that, there are some themes that we want to talk about in biology. We're going to see them pop up over and over again. Okay? The first theme, all levels of life have system of related parts. Okay? In other words, little things build up to make bigger things. Alright? And when we look at this diagram here, it starts with the littlest thing. On a chemical level, you can talk about an atom, and you should have learned about atoms in middle school. Right? So here's an example of a hydrogen atom and an oxygen atom, and they're going to form a water molecule. Okay? Molecules are going to build together to start making parts of cells. For example, the nucleus, that we call that an organelle. And then that nucleus is going to be one of the organelles that makes up a cell. And actually right here, the cell is a very important level of organization in life, because the cell is the smallest unit of something that can still be considered its own living thing. So if you have just an organelle, like just a nucleus, that is not considered its own living thing. You start here at the cell level, and we know lots of single-celled organisms that are considered their own living thing. So that means all of life has to be made up of at least one or more cells. And as you can see, we can go up through these levels of organization, and we include parts of each level going into the next level. For example, you have lots of different body tissues that come together to form an organ, and lots of organs that form organ systems, and all of those organ systems create a single organism. But you can go beyond that, because you can look at a population of organisms, and then how that population interacts with other populations to form a community, how those communities interact with other non-living factors of the earth, like sunlight and water and air temperature. And that gets us all the way up to the level of the biosphere, or they call it the ecosphere in this diagram, which is the planet Earth and all of its living and non-living things. Okay, so systems of related parts. The next theme, and this is a really big one, we're going to talk about this a lot. The structure of something and its function are going to be related. So the structure is basically its shape or the form of something, and that's going to determine how it is used or what it can do. So I have two really great examples here. Okay, your lungs are shaped in such a way so that you can bring in oxygen and you can exhale carbon dioxide. And that needs to travel throughout your body. So inside your lungs, you have these cute little tiny air sacs, and they're all wrapped in their own membrane, and they are called alveoli. Okay? And each alveolus is going to have its own membrane, and it's going to be wrapped very close to a blood vessel. And what that blood vessel does is it has a semi-permeable membrane. In other words, it allows for gases to move between the alveoli and the blood vessels very easily. So why have all these tiny little air sacs inside of your lung, which is one big air sac? Well, the more contact you have with these blood vessels, the higher the rate of exchange for your gases. So by having all of these individually wrapped little air sacs, that's going to allow much more oxygen getting in and carbon dioxide getting out at a faster rate. So we say that we're increasing the surface area of the lungs, and that's going to definitely aid the function of breathing and getting those materials cycled through your body. Here's another example. Hemoglobin is an important protein that your body makes, and its job is specifically to carry oxygen molecules while on red blood cells. And this is a computer model, but what it's trying to show you is that a protein is this long chain of amino acids that are linked together. It sort of looks like a beaded necklace, and then it's twisted and folded in a very specific way. So now its shape, okay, is going to play a role in how well it can hold oxygen. Well, sometimes people have a mutation in that protein formation, and what that causes is a change in the shape. You see how this is sort of it looks longer and it's not as condensed. You see the yellow pieces aren't coming together at the top, they're off to the sides. Because it's a different shape, it doesn't function the same way. And as you notice, there are no red spots in here. And so what's happening is we're losing our pockets for where we're going to carry oxygen. And so people who have the disease sickle cell anemia, they have a protein that has lost its shape, and therefore it has also lost its function. So we're going to talk a lot more about structure and function. Organisms must